Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I am an alcoholic, and today I'm a recovering alcoholic. I could not be any more grateful. We had a great crosstalk meeting last night. Every Tuesday and Saturday morning, we actually go into a treatment facility that's local to our area here, and we just sit around and talk, just talk shop, and with a crosstalk meeting. And last night was a lot of fun. Matter of fact, if you guys are watching, if you guys there at that facility are watching this morning, I want to say thank you for letting us come in and hang out with you guys. It was so much fun, a lot of laughs. Who would have ever thought that you could get clean and sober and have fun doing so? Pretty amazing, isn't it? And kind of along that same thread, I want to talk about a greater responsibility. And it's a responsibility that we assume whenever we make the decision to get clean and sober. Matter of fact, as we progress in our sobriety, we start assuming more and more of that responsibility. The flip side of the coin is, as we progress in our society, it becomes easier and easier for us to overlook that responsibility. What are you talking about, Drew? Well, when I was drinking every day, I would hurt people who meant the world to me. I would hurt people whom I cared for the most. My kids, my wife, my friends, my family, myself. I would hurt them. And while I'm not excusing it by any means, I can at least look back and understand the role that alcohol played in me hurting other people. There were times that I knew that if I did this, then it would hurt, say, my kids. But yet, while I knew that, knowingly understood what was going to happen, that mental obsession of my alcoholism, that phenomenon of craving, would always blot out that fear of hurting my kids or the people I cared about most. There were times I hurt people unintentionally whenever I was drinking. There were times I hurt people knowingly, maybe not intentionally, but knowingly hurt people because I knew that my alcoholism was greater than my fear of hurting people. And so when I got clean and sober, I was able to look back, and again, I'm not excusing my behaviors, and you don't want to look back and try to excuse your behaviors when you were drinking or when you were drugging, but I'll look back and I can at least understand, okay, I get it. While it's no excuse, I accept what I did whenever I was in the madness, but at least I understand it. So when I got clean and sober, I started learning things. I started, looking back at all those things I did wrong, and I went and made amends. I made amends to all the people that I wronged. That's part of the healing process, right? That's part of the step work. And then I learned in step 10, I get to kind of keep myself in check every single day. Step 10 tells us to look, do a daily review, if you will. At the end of our day, look for areas where we were maybe selfish and resentful and dishonest and fearful. And was our behavior was a result of one of these four things? And that's where we do that daily inventory. Makes sense. And whenever we see, I probably treated this person badly today, or I probably, I said something that I probably shouldn't have said and I didn't mean, then I need to turn around and immediately make amends. And then step 11 tells me to, improve my conscious contact by praying every morning, have that end of day meditation and then waking up and praying and to look for areas where I'm going to be, again, resentful and fearful and selfish and dishonest. Here's the dilemma, though, and here's that responsibility. If we read right around steps 8 and 9 in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, it tells us that our ultimate goal is to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God and our fellows. That's the responsibility we assume. But here's that responsibility that we miss. If we are clean and sober and we're still hurting people, how does that work? How do you explain that? I understand. While I don't use it as an excuse, I can understand when I hurt people whenever I was drinking. What I can't understand is when I knowingly hurt somebody spiritually when I'm sober, whenever I'm working a program. How does that work? And if I'm doing steps 10, 11, and 12 daily, like I'm supposed to be, how is it I'm still hurting people? Knowingly, willingly even in cases, hurting people. I get the oopsie daisy. I said about 2 weeks ago, there's, first time is accident, second time is coincident, third time is incident. When it's the third time, you're still making the same mistake over and over again for at least the third time. Well, that's no longer, I can't write that off as an accident. And so again, when I was in the madness and I was drinking, I could at least understand why and how I would hurt people. But if I'm clean and sober and I'm working a program, how can I still hurt people? My sobriety is based, what I have is a daily reprieve, contingent upon the maintenance of my spiritual condition. And that spiritual condition is to be of maximum service to God and to other people. How can I do that if I'm hurting God, if I'm hurting other people? And what's my logic? What's my justification? What's my rationale in all that? That's the greater responsibility that we tend to miss, because we get clean and sober and we start doing good. We stop paying attention to the people that we inadvertently start hurting. Matter of fact, we start being oblivious to. A great example, and I'm using myself for this. There's a friend of mine. He just moved to the area. We've become pretty good friends. We would talk all the time, etc. We would text, and we're talking shit to each other, just having fun, right? That's what you do. We both got clean and sober so we could laugh and enjoy life, right? And so anyway, he calls me up the other night, and he says, "Hey," he said, "I just want to make sure I haven't crossed the line." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "Well," he said, "it's, we haven't been talking as much." And he said, "I just worried that I might have crossed that line." And I was like, "Holy shit." I said, "No," I said, "there's no line at all." And I started thinking about it really fast, and I realized I haven't been communicating with him as much. My work schedule has been crazy. My son's baseball training schedule has been crazy. The meeting schedule has been crazy. This last 2 or 3 weeks, man, it's been like a juggling act. But I immediately told him, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I was oblivious. I was oblivious to the fact that my schedule had gotten so crazy. I was oblivious to the fact that you and I had not been texting that much." And so where it just kind of all of a sudden stopped on his end, he felt like it kind of stopped. And so no wonder he felt that maybe he had done something wrong to me. He told me, he said, "I'm calling to make amends if I've done something wrong." And I was like, "No, you haven't done anything wrong. If anything, it's my fault, if anything, because I was oblivious. I wasn't paying attention." I understand whenever, we get clean and sober and we make mistakes and we hurt people we care about. I understand, if it's an accident. Okay, it's a one time, like with this example. I said, "Man, I was oblivious. I wasn't paying attention. And for that, I'm the one who needs to make amends, if anything, not you. He didn't do anything wrong. It was me." When we're clean and sober, we assume that responsibility. We accept that responsibility that we are going to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God and to our fellows. How can we do that if we're not paying attention to the things we're doing? And how can we do that when we're knowingly being dishonest, resentful, fearful, and selfish? That's not a program. That's not working a program. In my mind, in my opinion, that's not working a program. And that's what the 10, 11, 12, steps 10, 11, 12 are for, is to keep us in check. I want to encourage you, when you get clean and sober, understand that the further along in your sobriety goes, the more diligent, myself included, this guy right here, the more diligent I need to be in paying attention to how I'm treating others. I'm not saying I'm going to be perfect. I've never told anybody I'm going to be perfect. My friend included. He knows I'm not going to be perfect. He understands now that it was an oversight on my part. But I was oblivious to it. I understand no one expects you to be perfect, but we also, I think it's fair to say that while we don't expect you to be perfect, we do expect you to at least be cognizant and make sure you're keeping yourself in check. You're looking for areas where you're hurting other people because of you're becoming resentful, you're becoming selfish, you're becoming dishonest, and you're becoming fearful. Pay attention. I said this 2 weeks ago. Pay attention to what you're paying attention to, because everything you do, people are watching. People are watching. People could be looking to you to set that example for them, so they can start their own journey into recovery. And that's how we make ourselves a maximum service to God and to our fellows. So with that being said, I'll let you guys go. Thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys absolutely keep me sober. I could not be any more appreciative. If there's a topic you'd like to hear discussed, let me know. Send it to me in an email, Drew, D-R-E-W, at recoveryclassroom.org. I'll take a look at it, see what we can do. We'll be talking again soon, guys. Remember, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.